Oh my god, but what if it does happen again, and because I'm in my room with all my Audrey memorabilia, maybe they'll come to me in the form of Audrey Hepburn. Hopefully she wouldn't look dead.
Old.
No, I don't care if she looks old.
And dead?
No, but if she looked dead.
Because she is dead.
I know, but you know, I'm hoping they won't come in like a form like where they look all rotten and stuff. Like, don't scare me or else I am going to flip
How did she
dead.
die? Just old age?
No, it's cancer.
Okay, so then it's not a horrible death.
It's not a horrible death. She lived to be like in her early 60s, I do believe. Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah, but she died from cancer.
Yeah. And no, but she did so many amazing things that I admire so
What was
much.
that? It was lung cancer. You know,
I don't think it was lung cancer.
Why did you take my mat from beside my bed?
Oh, because I thought it would look pretty in there, because we bought it for the kitchen in the first place, woman. You jacked it. Anyways, no, but she was amazing. She acted like she lived through the war, and she had like a British dad, and she could speak English and like Dutch and all that kind of stuff. So she had a weird act, like the prettiest voice ever, and she's the most gorgeous woman, I think, and she was in movies like.
Well, you draw lots of pictures of her and stuff too, essentially.
Yeah, and you know, when she got older and stopped acting, she was like the spokesperson for, what's it called? I think it's UNICEF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First ambassador.
Yeah, first ambassador. You know, she'd go everywhere and travel, and she was like the star ambassador, and she'd actually go and help the kids. She wasn't just advertisements, like she'd actually go down and travel and help.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Hey, you don't find too many people out there that'll actually do that kind of thing.
I would.
Same with all those starving people in the world and stuff. Like, I don't understand, like, all this stuff that we chuck out in a year-to-year basis.
Feed a small village for a year or something like that.
Why, if you know it's going to be outdated within a couple of weeks, why not make use of it?
Yeah.
If you know it's not going to get sold, why not ship it out to the countries that could use it?
Yeah, like quick delivery. I'm sure it's possible.
Oh, it's definitely
possible.
possible.
They can spend so much money to get a movie star from like America to Hong Kong. You know, they can do that for
within
food.
within a day or two.
Yeah, like it's absolutely ridiculous. And I don't understand. You know, charitable organizations like that.
It only seems like the ones that want to help these nations and these places that need the help are the people that's making the money. And the rest of the time, the government, they run the things. They make all this food. Why not just freely give it to them? Why make them suffer if they don't have the economy to live like we do? They don't have the ability to work. They don't have the ability to anything. Why not just give them the things that they need? They need it. It's rude. In my opinion, the government is rude.
It is rude.
They have the ability to be able to do these things. Take some food out of a grocery store, it gets restocked every single freaking week. Why not take some of the stuff and just, they process it, they make it, just give it to them.
Well, gosh, do you know all the unnecessary spending that comes with being the government?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they get millions of dollars just for travel.
Well,
Why do you need to travel? You're supposed to be running our country. Stay in here and figure it out.
There's thieves everywhere, even in the companies themselves. You can't tell me some of them people aren't crooked as you know.
I know. Our corporation is run, or our corporation, but that's the thing. It's a corporation. It's not a government. It's not, you know, a country. It's a corporation. That's how we're run. Yeah, pretty much. Absolutely fucking retarded, but...
It's retarded. There shouldn't be anybody homeless. There shouldn't be anybody that has no food. There shouldn't be any of that. The government should completely put a stop of it. If they know the people are incapable of doing it themselves, get them in a place.
I'm pretty sure there was a time when
build
in Canada,
an establishment for these people to have something, because a homeless person is just looking for help. You give the guy a bath, give him a good shave, tell him that he'd give them some good clean clothes and stuff. I guarantee they're going to go out and try to find a job. They just need that step ahead first. People got to realize that. They look at it, see that they're dirty, and they're like, yeah, they don't want to help me.
If they made buildings and establishments like that, then there'd be more fields and more jobs being created for people to go into. You know, that'd be good for our whole future. If there's middle class is getting jobs, it's opening up jobs. Like, I hate how I'm a teenager, and I walk into Zellers, and a part-time position is filled up by, like, an old lady. You know, or Tim Hortons job, and it's like, those jobs are for the teenagers, right? So not only are they getting help to get somewhere and figure out what they want to do, but other people are still getting jobs.
Exactly.
That's the kind of shit I want to do. Like, it's just, I can't just go into school and then open up some big old clinic to help people with their lives. I can't do that by myself.
See, I wish I was in the government, because if I was in the government, there wouldn't be starving people, and there would be nobody homeless. There would be nobody. I would build these establishments out of places, since they don't want them in the general public, build it outside so they still have a place to go.
But it's like, if it's out further, then they can't be in all the kind of racket and trouble you get in a small town with gossip or a big city with lots of drugs and violence, right?
Exactly. You need to build their own little community where they can just go off and
find themselves.
That's
right. You know,
they need a place to have their showers, get clean, and give themselves a place to think and get themselves back on track. That's all they're looking for. That's all. I've talked, like, I've traveled all over Canada myself. I've talked to homeless people, and each one of them said if somebody would just help me and let me do these things, because a little bit of pocket change here and there is not going to get you in a place to get cleaned up, basically. If somebody took them off the streets, gave them a bath, gave them a shower, introduced them to people, tried to get them a job, they'll guaranteedly take that job. I've talked to lots of them, and they always say nobody just wants to help. We want to help, and nobody wants to help us. So we resort to the drugs, and we resort to the violence, and we resort to all these things that doesn't necessarily need to happen.
I feel like with homeless people too, they have to go into the bigger areas to go and get this kind of change stuff, and that's where they meet the people with the drugs, and almost sometimes becomes a habit because of the fact they're probably sometimes even selling it to make money. Not all homeless people, because my teacher, he's like saying, you know, there's no such thing as a homeless person who's smart and has a good mind, you know, wants to do anything good with themselves. I got really pissed off. I'm like, you know, some people don't choose to be on the streets, and some people do choose to be on the streets.
Some people have no choice in the matter. Most people had a relationship with somebody, it got screwed up somehow with their parents or with some situation. That's why they're homeless.
Yeah.
Something got messed up to make them have to be homeless. You're not just born and you're homeless.
I know.
In some cases, it happens.
In this case, though, there is a guy I know, and he does choose to live on the streets. You know, he could have a lot of money, and he's a really smart guy. I spoke to him every day after school when I lived up in Halifax, and he'd give me an actual useful piece of advice, and it would always put my mind at ease, and it kind of helped me out a little bit. And he would just have to say one sentence, you know, and that'd be it.
Well, it's just rude, in my opinion. People take one look at a homeless person, and all they think is, you're gonna bum me for money.
Yeah.
And they don't want to have any use for him. If a homeless person says you don't have any money, but would you like to have somebody to talk to for a little bit? They'll take that information. They'll sit down and they'll be like, oh my geez, I would love to. I hope you don't mind the way that I smell or anything. I don't really, you know, I've done it. And look at the cat.
Monster! Get off my laptop. Fucking silly cat. See, can you imagine a gazillion of my cat at my feet?
It'd make me nervous. Definitely. Yeah. How are you? Yeah.
Huh. I never see him as interpersonal.
Hi. How are you?
Usually if he gets in somebody's face, he'd bite, but you give him kisses, I think.
Hi.
Monster.
Where's the kitty? Hey. He's like, I did what I wanted to do. Now I'm gonna go and
my fluffy
chill out.
Yeah. It's just there's so much wrong with our government, and I feel like it makes me want to be mad at my parents. It does, and even my grandparents, and everywhere in between, because it's all their decisions, it's all what they want, and it's not working out anymore, and they can't seem to get over it because it's old-fashioned or because
See,
of their values.
us as humans, we always look at it as in we had to work for everything we have, so they should too. We always judge people by that, but sometimes they don't have the right capability or the right brain set to actually be able to do it themselves. They need that little bit of guidance.
The homeless people, you mean?
Anybody. A young person that runs away from their parents, they're just looking for affection, so they run and try to find it. That's why they run away from home. They can't find it at home, so they go and find it somewhere else.
Like, people can't tell me, oh, that person just runs away because of something.
No, there always has to be a reason why a person runs
Yeah.
away. They're looking for something from somebody else that they're not getting from home.
Yeah, or even where they're anything, it doesn't have to be affection either.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be affectionate. It doesn't have to.
It
Just
could be the simplest things, but
it
it's
could be
never for
just somebody to
stupid
talk to, like, because their parents are like, well, you're young, you're only 13 years old, you don't have the right brain set. I shouldn't explain these type of things to you and stuff. But
reasons. Like, no, I need to hear these things. I'm not that age.
exactly.
Yeah. I don't know.
See, some people just underestimate other people for the circumstance that, oh, they're young, they don't understand.
I mean, I was talking to somebody trying to figure out where somebody was in the same situation, and, you know, they said, I don't fucking care, that person is a thief and a pill popper, and I'm like, that person started pill popping because they had issues and because they were depressed.
They resorted to drugs
The
because they
thieving-
wasn't getting the right.
The thieving was because this person was practically homeless from, you know, running away or being kicked out because of things.
Everybody has to survive. If you don't steal, and you don't have any money, or you don't have any way to get any money, you have to resort to things that you don't want to do. That's why a lot of people go to prison, because they don't want to steal, they don't want to thieve, they don't want to do any of that kind of stuff. But you got to survive. If you don't eat, you die. If you don't drink, you die. If you
But I
don't
don't understand.
have clothes, you'll never get a job.
I mean, the government could, you know, take all this money that they put into making these big jails where you can get your education while you're in jail.
So, yeah, exactly.
You get all your meals, you get all your dental, your health, everything is paid for you, and it's like $1 gazillion on top of that to build the jail in the first place and hire the people to make it, right?
Oh, I guarantee there'd be less crimes out there in the world as if they give people what they need.
It's just
because
stop
if they,
building
if they
the jails.
gave the people what they needed, there would be nobody in jail because they have no reason, because then they'd be.
Stop building the jails and make these, you know, kinds of more open, friendly institutions or rehabilitation centers, or put it into education so everybody can get what they need in education and food and everything. All that money could be used for so much good. And the government can't. I hate ads when it's about stealing, like for stealing movies and stuff. Why is it in it the government funded, you know, like commercial? And I'm just like, why the fuck is the government telling me this? The government steals enough of our fucking tax dollars for the most stupid shit
because
ever.
They always think they know what's best for the small ones,
and it's
for the small people.
And it's the big, powerful people out there who are doing just fine in an economy like this, and who have the most influential say, and who have the, you know, the basically the big vote, and they're not getting taxed as much as the smaller people. They're definitely, you know, they have more say, and they're fine with it, but they don't see what's going on in the smaller communities, which are the ones that will eventually break out, say, fuck you, and their big pictures
they
are
don't
going to
realize.
They don't care about people
They don't
either.
realize that this world is starting to pretty much destroy itself. The crime nowadays, compared to what they were, I'd say 30 to 40 years ago, is not nearly. The crime rate is just skyrocketing, and it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And then eventually, a group of people, young people, are going to get together, and they're going to take it out on the government. And these places, these big cities, are going to riot. There's going to be a riot here, riot there, riot here, riot here. There's not enough cops in the world to prevent all these people. All it takes is one person to get into everybody else's head. Look at Hitler.
Look at Charles
Hitler.
Manson. Look at Jim Jones. There's a gazillion people, almost like Colt.
You just got to get
And
one
can you
person
imagine?
to speak that they'll listen to.
But listen to this, Ryan.
Get it
Listen
set
to
up.
this theory. Like, you have all these people who are in big drug rings, and they're, you know, they're not only weed, but it could be coke and crack at the same time, like a bunch of types of drugs, and they're importing them all out, and then that guy's got the little guy doing the weed. And so many people, you know, commonly all over the world smoke weed.
There will always be a leader, and you will always get followers.
Yes.
Always.
But that's the thing. If they are doing other, like, they're organizing the other types of drugs and then the weed, see, they should just legalize it in the first place, because there would probably be no street crime
That's right.
about at least weed, and that's the most common drug.
That's the most common drug to send people in prison, and then you're in there. See, I think people that molest children should be in prison. I think people that beat women should be in prison. Beat children should be in prison. I agree to that kind of stuff. But these drugs and small penny crimes, if it's a t-shirt, the guy obviously is stealing that t-shirt because he doesn't have one himself. Why not just give the t-shirt to the guy and just be done with it? Why? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's only a freaking t-shirt. Come on.
Don't let him walk around without any clothes
Yeah,
on.
would you rather him walk around with naked, like completely butt naked, like honestly, or would you rather him have a shirt?
Do a good deed. Don't be selfish on maybe a $5 t-shirt.
Exactly.
But another thing I don't get too is, like, if we legalized it, it would make so many jobs, because they'd have to start testing it out, how to regulate it within, like, the community. It could make profits, like businesses, you know,
Mhm.
there's people who bake weed products, or people who could sell them medically or with a license, or, you know, just, you know, have so many grams on them, you know what I mean? Like,
'Cause
restrictions.
well,
It'd be a
you know
controlled
what I mean.
substance.
Yeah, exactly.
So they'd be
But here's
profiting
about-
off of it, though,
About the
Ryan.
clothing situation, too.